Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
The Filipino American Cancer Care now brings you On the Air with FACC, tributes and support to those impacted by cancer. On the Air with FACC, the Filipino American Cancer Care on PHLV Radio.
Magandang gabi sa ating mga kababayan sa Pilipinas. Or dito pala sa Amerika. Ayan na naman kasi alam niyo kung bakit. May birthday celebrant ngayong gabi. Good evening, America. Magandang gabi, Amerika. Good morning, Philippines. Magandang umaga, Pilipinas. Ngayong gabi po ay September 17, 2021 dito sa Amerika. May birthday celebrant tayo. Walang iba kundi yung ating station manager, Johan. And again, my name is Josie Moralidad Zayman from the Filipino American Cancer Care. Welcome sa ating programang On the Air with FACC, Filipino American Cancer Care. At syempre, kasama ko ngayong gabi yung ating mga board of directors, mga officers ng Filipino American Cancer Care. First, from Lorton, Virginia, we have Ed Logan. Hi, Ed.
Hey, Josie. I know it's Friday again. So this is our third week of doing the cancer, the childhood cancer advocacy. So I'm so excited that we have three phenomenal women who really have the heart and passion for pediatric cancer. And of course, Josie, we have a guest co-host tonight, one of our newest young ambassadors. So I'm so excited that this person joined us tonight as well.
Yes, we are very proud of our young ambassadors. We are training them to become the next generation of leaders for the Filipino American Cancer Care. Now, from the heart of Virginia, he is ready to be one of the models for the FACC Couture Carriage for a Cure. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Emerich Richie Vicente. Hi, Emerich.
Hello, Ate Josie. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everyone. And good morning. Happy Saturday sa Pilipinas. Good morning sa inyo. It's the central part of Maryland, Ate Josie. You said,
nasa central part ka ba?
She is really have lack
Teka
of...
muna, Maryland ka ba? Gaithersburg, di ba? Or
yeah,
Germantown?
Maryland.
Uy, Emerich, wala akong tulog. Tomorrow, my husband is going to celebrate his birthday book lunch. I've been awake since 12 o'clock midnight. And then I have to buy this, I have to buy that, I have to cook this. Oh my goodness. Huh?
Woman.
Say it again.
You are so busy.
Yes. Okay,
I'm
but anyway.
Really excited because we have a lot of guests today and special conversation. Continuing on our conversation with our childhood or juvenile cancer.
Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Oh, ikaw na. Ano to, mga taong nawawala. Okay, so who is going to introduce our special guest co-host tonight?
Emerich.
That will be me. I'm so excited to introduce our special co-host for tonight's event or tonight's show. He is pursuing a career in real estate to help the family business and at the same time getting into child behavior education focus on special needs children. He is a volunteer at Feed the Homeless in Washington, D.C. and Baltimore City, as well as Sunday school ministry at his church, River of Life Christian Fellowship. Wow, this man is so busy. He helps his mom with fundraising like breast cancers and fundraising for the School for the Blinds in the Philippines. He competed and won various regional and international school competitions. In 2017, regional first place in famous speech international, sixth place in famous speech, regional third place in group Bible speaking. In 2018, regional first place, famous speech, second place on the group Bible speaking, international fourth place in group Bible speaking. In 2019, regional third in group Bible speaking, second in choir small ensemble. He wants to continue to serve God by joining the music ministry. Just like me, I did that as lead guitarist. Helping his mom for their foundation mission for vision, focusing on helping the visual impaired and mental challenged children in the Philippines. Please welcome our special co-host, Mr. Lance Encomienda.
Hey, Lance.
Hello.
Good evening, Lance.
Hi. This is my first time doing anything like this, so I'm really excited and also quite nervous. I wasn't really sure how to dress, so so
Who
I'm
is sitting next to you tonight, Lance? Who's with you tonight?
Just me. That's me.
I
Yeah.
can hear the voice of your mommy.
Yeah.
Isa.
Hi, Isa.
Yeah.
Gate is home.
So you feel nervous right now.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. But
Have
I'm
you ever experienced being an MC for an event or a party?
a couple times, and if it's kind of, I guess, 50-50 how well I do. Usually, it's either I'm really good or I'm kind of awkward. So let's see how I do tonight.
Well, you sound good, and I guess you're very confident, and I'm sure that we're going to have a great time with you tonight. Now, this time I'm going to give the floor to Ed to introduce. Oh, by the way, who is going to introduce our special guest?
Lance.
It's Lance, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, Lance, this is your moment. Would you like to introduce our special guest tonight?
Yes, our very special guest. So our very special guest tonight is Kristina Andersen. Kristina Andersen is the executive director and founder of Everlasting Hope Children's Cancer Mission. In 2008, while in nursing school, she had the opportunity to pursue her passion of midwifery through her first mission trip to Cebu, Philippines. She never imagined that through this first trip, it would start her on a lifelong journey and passion in helping Filipino children and families. She moved to the Philippines in 2011. Over a few years' time, she was able to support many Filipinos through various community outreaches and nutritional and medical needs. In 2014, she met a sweet 10-year-old boy with osteosarcoma of the knee. Through helping this child and family, she came to realize that there was a huge need for children with cancer in the Visayan region that was yet to be filled. Kristina met with a local doctor who told her there was no home to house children with cancer when they travel hours by boat or bus into Cebu City for treatment. Kristina, knew instantly that this was what her Filipino team were called to do. In 2016, their dream became a reality. They're opening their Everlasting Hope Cebu Center for children with cancer and have been able to support more than 250 children with cancer and families through providing a home away from home, medical and nutritional support, and much needed emotional and spiritual care. You can find out more about what they are doing by visiting everlastinghope.org. That is everlastinghope.org, or contacting Kristina at everlastinghope.org, or calling the number 206-660-0355.
Okay, let's welcome Kristina. Hi, Kristina Andersen.
How are you?
Can we hear Kristina? Kristina, can you hear us?
Hello, I can hear you.
Okay, I don't really see her on the video right now. Let me see.
Hello, good evening.
Okay. So
Yeah.
where are you right now, Kristina? By the way, Kristina knows how to speak Bisaya. Mayong gabi sa mga
An.
sa
May
mga
gabi isan.
mayong gabi sa mga taga Cebu.
Hi, may gabi. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes,
Yes,
much
very
better.
good.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Yes, gamay lang. I
Gamay
speak
lang
a little
gid.
bit Bisaya.
Mm-mm. Ako man, gamay-gamay sa akon. Abi mo, dako,
Same.
gitingog ko, gamay man lang gali. You know what it means?
Nosebleed.
Nosebleed, that's right. Okay. Now, I would like to ask you, I want to shoot the first question. How did you fall in love with the Filipinos? Why Philippines when you can do your advocacy here in the United States?
Yeah. So it's kind of, and God really orchestrated a great way of bringing me to the Philippines in 2008 for the first time. I had actually, honestly, I didn't even own a passport. I didn't know where the Philippines was on the map, but I heard about this little maternity clinic in the Philippines, and through making my trip there for the first time in 2008 and just starting to see the children living in the various communities and how happy they were with so little, my heart just started to fall in love with the children. And I think it was, through that very first trip in 2008 that really sparked a passion in my heart to want to serve the Filipino people. And then over, my various trips over the years, it became clear that I was to move there full time and not pursue my nursing career in America, but actually pursue serving the Filipino people. So that began my journey in 2008 and then moving there in 2011.
Is there a certain Filipino who motivated you to travel in the Philippines?
At the time, no, I actually went there all on my own. So it was another group that had opened this maternity clinic in the Philippines. And so I had heard about that. And so I actually traveled all by myself, 6,000 miles to the Philippines and met a missions team at that time. So at that time, no, there was no Filipino in my local community that was encouraging me to go. But of course, as after moving there, I started meeting various Filipinos and formed a team.
So it was really an adventure for you and a new experience.
It was, yes.
Mhm. Now
What is
let's,
your favorite-
yes, Ed, go ahead,
I'm
Ed.
gonna ask the question about food. What is your Filipino food that you like the best?
I'm sorry to say it's not balut. I've actually never had balut. It kind of freaks me out.
Okay.
So I actually would say mungo beans because
Oh, that's healthy. Mungo.
Mung beans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
the Filipino curry are
Yeah.
probably my favorites.
I love ginisang munggo. Now let's give the floor to our young ambassador, Lance. Would you like to ask some questions to Kristina?
Let me see. Let me check. There is. 1 second. Sorry, I had it here.
You have a lot of questions, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess since I read the bio, it's kind of hard to come with a question.
I'll do a follow up.
You know her.
Yeah.
So, Kristina, I know, Philippines, you can compare how the US, but, the resiliency of people, the Filipino people. But at the same time, what are the most challenging things that you need to provide support, especially in the cancer community in the Philippines, especially in Cebu?
Yeah, I mean, when opening the center, one of the main reasons we did that is we were the first home to actually be available for our children that are traveling from Bohol, Negros, neighboring islands. And when they come into Cebu City, they didn't have a place to stay. And so when I had heard that, this is a huge need for these children, just have a safe, comfortable, clean home to stay while getting their treatment, I knew that's what we needed to do. And so, of course, to sustain that, shelter program, on top of we're also serving kids in the community that don't live in our center. As you know, even though obviously if you compare a medical bill in America to a medical bill in the Philippines, you would say, that's not very expensive compared to like maybe American prices. But for a Filipino that makes $6 a day, their medical bills are huge. So, one of the biggest challenges for me is it's just really, I want to say yes to every request I get, and so, right. And so obviously I know that that's not the only answer, the finances, they were able to provide emotional care, spiritual care, and all the, just providing a family for them. But, with those medical bills, the more we can build up our medical crisis funds and those that are there locally that want to donate vitamins, nutritious foods, during COVID times, it's been such a blessing because the local Filipinos really stepped up and just when we were almost out of our rice, a bag of stacks of rice would show up at our gate, and so I'm just thankful for the local Filipinos as well as, of course, those here in America that are supporting our efforts. But, so to run our operations and everything, as well as provide them, offset medical costs, it's costly. So, the more people that want to, join in on our mission is really helpful.
Okay. Now let's move on to Emmerich. Emmerich.
Yeah, Kristina, thank you for visiting us, being with us tonight and telling your story. But I'm curious, for all of the patients or cancer cases that you've seen when you were in the Philippines, what are the cancers that you knew about your patients that you're encountering?
Yeah, I mean, acute lymphoblastic leukemia, ALL, is probably the most common childhood cancer that you'll see. It's a blood cancer. And so, yeah, I would say that's the most common cancer, but we also have seen rare cases that honestly I've never witnessed in America, where I've seen tumor. I mean, I don't want to be too graphic.
Sure.
She's losing her signal.
Size of a basketball.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay?
Can you say it again?
Yeah, repeat it again.
My apologies that I don't have a stable internet connection. So, yeah. So is it okay now though?
Yes, much better.
Okay. So, like I mentioned, acute lymphoblastic leukemia is the most common childhood cancer that you'll see, and it's actually the most treatable cancer. But with limited access for our children to get, cancer treatment or fear of even going to the hospital, we'll see some of those cases not being treated quick enough. But the rare cases I've seen are things I wouldn't have seen here in America, seeing situations in which very large tumors are overtaking their face or their neck, in their limbs. And so it's been overwhelming for me at times, to see these situations, but I'm just thankful that we can walk alongside them. But yeah, those we've seen a lot of kind of rare cases, but the majority I would say are leukemia cases.
Okay. Now let's go back to Lance. Lance, are you ready now with your questions?
I guess I have like one question. So what is the age range from like, I guess, youngest to oldest that you have, like the children? Like what is the youngest child that you have taken in and what is like the oldest, I guess, or something along that line?
Yeah, so we actually, our youngest child was 4 months old. So this
Wow.
child had a tumor in her abdomen, and I'm telling you, the Lord did a miracle in this sweet little girl. A year ago, the doctors were shocked at how big the tumor was in her abdomen, and we they were not sure exactly how they were going to be able to remove it. Was she going to be okay? And when they removed the tumor, it was benign. So the biopsy was not benign, but when they removed it, it was benign. And so we're so thankful for her situation, and she's doing really well. And then we go up to the age of 18, but if the child that we take in is 18 and then they continue their treatment beyond that, we'll continue to work with them until they're finished with their treatment.
Okay.
Oh, good.
So, Kristina, you mentioned that, we learned from you that you are an adventurous person, but you also fell in love with the Filipino kids. Now, my question is that, what is the story behind the creation of your organization in the Philippines?
Yeah, good question. So it was in 2011 that I felt a leading to the name of Everlasting Hope. But at that time, I actually did not know we were going to be working with children with cancer. I just knew that I was to be serving in the Philippines, that I wanted the children and the families in the Philippines to have hope and hope in the Lord, and just to know that there's something beyond themselves, And so as I was serving, it was in 2014 that I met that little boy that had osteosarcoma of the knee. And it was when I worked with that family and saw the situation of that child and just the pain that he was in and the uncertainty of the family, that I knew, gosh, there must be more children in the Philippines that needed our care, that have cancer. And having lost both my parents to cancer, it was like this kind of full circle that came to realizing what I was really called to do in the Philippines was to work with children with cancer. So I talked with a local doctor there in the Philippines, and she said there was no home to house them while coming in from the neighboring islands. And that was in, I think, late 2014. So for about a year, we just
Okay, we're losing again your signal. Okay. Babalikan natin yan si Kristina.
I'm really sorry.
Oh, we're good. We're good.
Part of technology sometimes.
Okay, so go ahead.
Okay, so in 2016, we worked with just a handful of children in a community-based setting. We would drive them to the hospital, provide nutrition for them. And so after working with them, we met a little girl that had traveled 12 hours from Surigao into Cebu City, and she needed a place to stay. So our team took a huge leap of faith and said, this is the time we've got to start, looking for a place for these families. So it was in 2016 that we found a home in the city that we could house these children and families. So since that time, we've been able to work with 250 children and their families since 2016.
So Kristina, just to follow up the question that Josie posted to you, for our listeners and for those who's currently, fighting this big battle of sea, and those who's going to be starting, what message that you can impart with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing too is to find community, as much as possible, so that you're not alone through this journey, because I think it really requires a whole team effort to come around someone that's battling cancer, and so hopefully, those individuals that are going through this will be able to find a community that can come around them, and to know that there really is always hope, and there's miracles that happen. I've seen miracles that happen. And, one of my friends always reminds me that it's not always the big miracles that we need to see, but every day, every little day that is given to us, and every step forward, is a miracle, and so recognizing those miracles along the way as well. And support systems. So hopefully, those individuals can find the needed support.
From your end, Emerich?
Yeah, I was curious. So when you're not in the Philippines right now, are you?
No, I'm actually not.
So when are you gonna visit? When are you gonna go back?
Yeah. So the plan, usually I'm only in Seattle. I'm from Seattle. So I'm usually only in Seattle for a couple months, and then I'm back into the Philippines. But this time I'm actually called to be back here a little bit longer because I really want to raise awareness of the needs of our children and families here in America, and just share the mission and the vision of what we're doing. And then with COVID, it is really challenging to travel into the Philippines right now. Normally I'm on a missionary visa, but because it has to be renewed yearly, I'm on a tourist visa. So those limitations kind of keep me right now, I think, from being able to enter the country. But I'm continuing to talk with my team all the time over internet, over Zoom and things like that. So with that said, I don't have a full answer. I would love to be able to go back within the next 6 months to a year, but I'm not sure that I'm actually going to live full time there anymore. I might actually be living here full time, but bringing teams and visiting on a regular basis, but raising up the US based nonprofit to better support our Filipinos. So yeah.
Okay.
Long answer to your question.
Okay, now let's go back to Lance. Lance, do you have additional questions?
Sure. So how big is your team that you're working with over here in the States, and how big is your team that you're working with like in the Philippines?
Yeah, so in the Philippines, we have a board of directors and then our board of trustees.
Okay. We lost Kristina again. Okay, you may have to repeat that, Kristina, because you're breaking off. It's very choppy right now. Okay. Now, go ahead. You're fine now.
So, okay. Yeah, team of 10 in Cebu. And so it consists of a director and, am I okay?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Our director, social workers, house parents, our guard and driver and things like that to keep our operations running smoothly in Cebu. And then we also have a board of trustees because we're registered as an NGO in the Philippines and with the Department of Social Welfare. And then here in America, we're all volunteer based with a board of directors and some volunteers that are helping here in America with our focus on Philippines.
Okay. Now, before we continue with our interview sa kay Kristina Andersen, we would like to dedicate a song sa kanya po para sa ating special guest and sa ating special guest co-host. Okay? Our special guest singing artist tonight is a singer, theater actor, and host. He is a World Championship of Performing Arts WCOPA 7 times gold, silver, and bronze medalist. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dave Valeriano.
Ang ibig madama sa'yo'y huwag ka nang magpabalik. Pagkat itong puso ko ay sa'yo pa rin nasasabi kung sakasakali man aking nang napapatig, sa'yo'y mahuhulog lang. Kaya't huwag na huwag ka nang magbabalik. Huwag mo sanang biglayin sa iyong pagbabalik ang idlip at damdamin ang puso kong datinig at tamis ng pagsinta at init ng halik. Ang ibig madama, di man umibig. Pakiusap ko sa'yo'y huwag ka nang magbabalik. Pagkat itong puso ko ay sa'yo pa rin nasasabik kung sakasakali man aking nang napapatig, sa'yo'y mahuhulog lang. Kaya't huwag na huwag ka na magbabalik. Di ko kayang pigilin ang sigaw nitong damdamin. Labis man akong sinaktan, ikaw pa rin ang aking mahal. Oh, pakiusap ko sa'yo'y huwag ka nang magbabalik. Pagkat itong puso ko ay sa'yo pa rin nasasabik kung sakasakali man akin nang napapatid, sa'yo'y mahuhulog lang. Kaya't huwag na huwag ka na
Right, balik tayo dito sa ating radio show on the air with FACC. Now we have another special guest tonight who is going to introduce our special guest.
I will. But before, I want to thank Kristina, for your time, for sharing the advocacy for your organization, and hopefully we can continue this partnership and collaboration in the near future to continue fight against cancer, especially for the children. So appreciate it.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kristina, for
Thank you so
having
much,
that
Kristina.
heart and empathy sa mga Filipino kids to the Filipino people in the Philippines. Thank you so much for sharing your time with us.
Thank you. God bless all of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So the second segment, Josie, Emmerich, and Lance, I cannot wait to hear their story. These two amazing millennials, powerful young millennials, women who really have shown and dedication as well in the most populated area of the Philippines, Manila, to help a lot of the cancer kids. So our first guest in terms of the cancer advance PH is Mots, is currently a medical student. And of course, Mac is pursuing already her second degree in multimedia. Please welcome Mots and Mac to our show. And I know their organization been recognized by the National Youth Commission. That's why they recommended me to reach out to them. That's why I want to hear more about their story, Josie and Emmerich and Lance. You will be surprised how these two individuals have so much passion as well.
So Mots and Mac, are you related to each other?
By blood, hindi po. Pero before Cancer Vans PH, we were friends in college.
UP Diliman, di ba?
Yes, correct.
I knew it. I did my homework.
I'm just curious. Why is your name Mots? M-O-T-S.
Mots because I'm half Japanese and my last name supposedly is Motohara. Then when I entered college, people call me by the shortened version of Motohara, so it became Mots.
That's cute.
And where is Mac now?
Mac is on the other one.
We're both staying in Manila.
Okay. Now, I am going to give the floor sa ating mga millennials. Lance, would you like to shoot the questions for our special guest tonight? Are you there, Lance?
Sure.
Lance, do you understand Tagalog?
Hindi po.
Lance, gusto mo silang tanungin sa Tagalog?
Kunti lang.
Kunti lang? Ano
yeah,
Lance?
konti lang.
Nosebleed?
Yes, I only know the words that my mom yells at me. So.
Oh, we don't want to
Huwag mo
use
nang
that.
sabihin,
Yeah,
Lance.
like, ang tulog na, kain,
Ay, nako.
brush your teeth, all that kind of stuff.
Now, would you like to ask questions kay Mots and Mac?
Sure. So, so Mots, you're a medical student?
Yes.
Okay. So what medical school are you going to right now?
In LaSalle Medicine.
Oh, okay. So, sorry. It's hard for me to come up with questions on the fly.
We'll help you.
So how old are you? You look very young. You look like you just graduated out of college, right?
Not really.
Really?
Yes, I'm already 28 years old.
What?
So,
wow.
Lance, you look young too. How old are you?
That's why I told him too.
I'm 21 po. 21, yeah. A lot of people think I'm 16.
Okay, let's go back to Mots then.
Yes,
Balikan ka namin mamaya.
of course, yeah. What? Sorry. So, can someone ask another question? I'm still trying to keep. I'm gonna try to prepare first.
Sige. Save mo muna si Mots, si Lance.
So Mots, who inspired you to go to med school? And then how did you guys come up with the name of the organization? And really, how did you guys, made the realization, say, hey, we need to have this cancer organization for kids?
And why are you so passionate about, cancer advocacy?
Yes. It was year 2015, when I and my friends went to the National Children's Hospital. So we gave food packages, hygiene kits to the kids. And it was only in 2015 when I learned about kids having cancer. So imagine I was already 22 years old then, and I still don't know that kids can also have cancer. Yeah. It was only because of my hospital outreach program that I was able to know that kids can also have cancer. And I went out of the hospital really brokenhearted, and I realized that something has to be done. So I vibered my best friend, Mac. I told her, hey, let's do something about this. Is there something that we can start for kids with cancer? Thus, we organized Pay Inc. Forward. It was named by Mac herself. So from the phrase Pay It Forward, we replaced it with Inc. just to establish that the fundraising project is about collecting artworks from different Filipino artists, and we sell them on Instagram through bidding. So people will bid at the comment section, and then the highest bid would win the artwork, and this artwork will be able to help a kid with cancer. Yeah. So through Paying Forward, we were able to create a community of artists helping kids with cancer. And in fact, this coming December is our 7th Pay Inc. Forward. So we've been doing this for 7 years, the Pay Inc. Forward, but the organization, Cancer Vans PH, it's been running for 6 years now. Cancer Vans PH is a portmanteau of cancer and servants. So Cancer Vans PH. So it is to contextualize that we have volunteers or members who are serving the Philippines, who are serving kids with cancer and their families. Because of course, when someone gets cancer, his or her entire family has it. So they are collectively fighting against cancer. It's not just about the patient.
Yes.
So there, 6 years into running the organization, Mac and I have already established chapters in Cebu, in Batangas, and of course in Metro Manila. And that's also how we met Miss Kristina Andersen in Cebu, because our chapter there is mainly helping the kids. Everlasting Hope is helping as well. So if not because of Everlasting Cebu, we wouldn't be able to, Everlasting Hope Cebu, we wouldn't be able to get in touch with different kids with cancer and their families there in the Visayas region. So we're very thankful for that. And going to your next question about me being in medical school now, I am currently a second-year medical student. And the reason why I'm here is because mainly of kids with cancer. I just realized that I can do more for these kids and their families if I'm a doctor. And God willing, I will be able to finish my medical education by 2024. God willing, really, because it's really hard. I mean, financially and mentally, it's really hard. So I hope that one day, by God's grace, I will be able to graduate and become a physician for kids with cancer.
We have no doubt about it. So Mac, so I know your best friend approached you about this cancer organization. Tell about it. What's your first reaction? One, two, is there any in the family been affected cancer personally? So I just want to get a little bit on your side of the story.
Oh, yeah. So when Mots invited me to make an organization, I immediately said yes because one, she's my best friend. So I feel obligated to say yes. But number two, I actually don't have any family member who has cancer. So my personal motivation in making the organization is not from any of our family members or immediate family members that has cancer, but more on because I experienced loss. My brother suddenly passed away because of cardiac arrest. So he died at the age of 20. So I feel like the loss motivated me to help other kids because I feel like if I help these kids, in a way, I feel like I get to help my brother, or I get to help save my brother because dying suddenly, I think really shook our family. That we were not able to help him, that we just have to accept that he died at such a young age. So having an avenue to help other people get a chance, a second chance at life, really gives me hope, and that's my personal motivation as well. And also because I personally know how hard it is to be hospitalized in the Philippines because I myself had been hospitalized back in 2012. I was in the ICU for about a month because I was diagnosed with a rare heart condition. So during that time, I feel like I know how the kids felt knowing that they're on the brink of life and death. So that personal experience shaped me, of course, and I think motivated me to make an organization that will help other people because of that experience, I realized that life is short and that
Yeah.
we shouldn't limit our we should live beyond ourselves because there are a lot of people who needs our help. And just because I have a heart condition, it doesn't mean naman that I should only help or make an organization for people with heart condition. I think it doesn't matter who the people you're helping, as long as you have the heart to serve.
Mhm. You have the passion.
Yeah.
Emerich.
I really like the passion of our guest tonight. Really, it resonate, and I think our listeners and viewers tonight can see that, and I really appreciate you all sharing your stories. I want to ask Mac, back to you, when you started Pay Inc. Forward. I love it. I love it. So the artists, the arts that you guys are putting out there, where are they coming from? Are they local artists? What do they do? Are they students? Tell us more about it.
During our first Paying Forward, all Paying Forward artworks are mostly from local artists. But during our first Paying Forward, since we are starting from scratch, we literally have to message on Instagram. We will look for artists on Instagram, like people who are good in calligraphy, or we see their feed and we see that they're good in painting. We will message them and ask them if they want to donate artworks for a cause.
Yes.
And then they will reply, some will say no, some will say yes. And then I think for our first Paying Forward, we got around 100 artworks from 100 artists. So that's not bad. I mean,
Not bad at all.
and I think Paying Forward shows us that people really are open in helping. We just have to give them avenues on how they could help. And these artists um, gave their talent and creativity to be able to help other people as well. So through the years, now that we are on our 7th year, we we don't we rarely message artists anymore. Now they come to us na,
Wow.
since they know that Paying Forward is an avenue for them to help other people through their craft.
Mhm.
I just found your IG. It's beautiful.
Yes.
I'm looking at it right now.
Mhm. So how many millennials are working with you?
Currently, we have like a pool of volunteers, more or less like 20 and above.
Mhm.
But we also have other members from different chapters. So in Cebu, we have like 5 to 10. In Batangas, we have like 30 plus.
Okay. Now let's go back to Lance. Lance?
Don't be shy, but if you know,
Lance, you
We'll
can
help you.
ask
Don't
any
worry.
questions. Or would you like me to ask questions? Para sa'yo, Lance.
I guess yeah, like you guys, I'm just like listening. I'm just so glad that I'm just here to like just listen to these people, these very inspiring people. I'm just enjoying my time here.
sure.
Yeah.
So I'm also gonna ask one more quick question. So because I want to make sure I give opportunity for Mac and Mots to share. So you guys made it 7 years. A lot of organization based on industry best practice. Really,
Yes.
3 years, 5 years really is sometimes is the test to go forward. So what do you guys envision 7 more years coming? So what you guys see for cancer events people?
And you know what? It's very difficult to find fundings for an organization, right?
Thank
Yeah.
God, in the past 7 years, we never really sent out solicitation letters. Like donations just really kept coming in the past 7 years, and we're so thankful that there have been a lot of people who really trusted us with their blessings. That's why the organization was able to bless 150 plus kids with cancer. And while it's sad that a lot of kids have cancer, we're also thankful that there are help coming in for them. So moving forward, we envision that Cancer Van Speech will be able to help more. We will have more projects that are related to pediatric cancer awareness, and as well as it is our dream before the pandemic to do an actual school tour wherein we will plan chapters in different universities or schools so that we can broaden our network of volunteers and members. However, because of the pandemic, we cannot do that physically. So maybe we'll just put it in the pipeline first. And of course, we also think of doing even more events related to pediatric cancer, such as concerts, mall exhibits, coin bank campaigns, things like that.
Mhm.
And I do
Rich.
believe Mac can share about our plans for paying forward.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh yes, for this year, for our seventh paying forward, since it's a pandemic, we are actually going digital. So all artworks for this year are digital artworks. And before, we used to have an exhibit, like we have a culminating activity where you can have all artworks are showcased through a physical exhibit. But this year, we will be having an online exhibit where the artworks will be seen through our website. So the exhibit will be this December. So I hope the listeners can look forward to it. And uh, we are not, I don't know if we're still accepting applications. I think submission for artworks will end on October 30. So if you are a digital artist, you can still pass your digital artwork. That will be up for bidding. So, or if there is anyone interested, you can message us on at Paying Forward or at CancerOnesPH on Instagram, and we'll be happy to answer your inquiries.
Yeah. Thank you, Mac. I mean, we have a lot of young
Yeah.
Fil-Am, Filipino Americans who are also talented, and we really are using this opportunity to really broadcast and really share this particular project.
Yeah.
Mhm. We have 4 minutes on this radio show. And Rich, do you have a question?
I was just gonna ask Mac and Mots, what's your words for all of the kids out there and their families that maybe they just got the news today, or someone who's in remission? If you can share some good words for them.
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess what we would like to say is through the years that we've been doing this volunteer work for Cancer Events PH, we have seen miracle stories. So the first thing that I would say is don't give up, since cancer is not an automatic end to your life. We have seen children be victorious from this battle, and you should not be afraid. Yes, there is a reason to fear, but we have to remember that there is a God bigger than our circumstances. There is a God who grants miracles. And these miracles we have seen physically through the lives of the kids that are on your mission, that are cancer free. So, and as much as they feel alone, they are never alone. As long as Cancer Events PH is here, there's never a child that is alone. And to anyone, to any family member, or to anyone who's recently diagnosed with cancer, I just want to say that you have there is strength in suffering. The Bible said that through suffering we create endurance, and that is true. that there is a reason for everything. God doesn't grant us cancer. He just permits it because there is a reason for everything. Maybe this is because um, he wants us to, he wants this person to give, he wants this person to have a beautiful testimony because at the end of this is victory. So we just have to keep a positive mindset and attract positive energy because that energy will overflow and will just create a positive impact on your body as well.
Okay, thank you so much, Mac. Now, lastly na lang siguro, mga 15 seconds lang kay Mots naman, and then we're gonna say goodbye to our listeners.
Since I do believe my co-founder has already mentioned all the important things, I'll just use this time to thank the Filipino American Cancer Care for inviting us here. We're so honored to be on board with Miss Kristina Andersen, who's been doing a really great job in Cebu, and we're so thankful to everyone here in this Zoom virtual meeting for inviting us and for giving us a platform to share our story as an organization helping kids with cancer here in the Philippines.
Okay, thank you so much, Mats and Mac from Cancer Vans. Now, lastly, let's say bye-bye. Lance, we have 1 minute. Okay, you have 10 seconds.
Say bye.
Say bye.
Adios. Thank you for coming on. It was a very great pleasure to be on here, and I'm so happy that I was able to join with you guys today and help co-host. I'm sorry I wasn't necessarily in the conversation, but I was just so happy to be here.
But you did a great job. Thank you so much, Lance and Emmerich.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, everyone, and have a good morning, Filipinas. Thank you for our guests.
Yes.
Ed.
Thank you. And we continue to pray for those people in the Philippines fighting for COVID. And I know a lot of their loved ones are dying right now. And I know we just need to help each other, pray for each other.
Thank you again to our guests, Kristina, Mots, and Mac. Galing po dito sa Virginia and of course sa Las Vegas. Maraming salamat sa inyong pag-follow sa aming radio show On the Air with FACC.
Bye.